at the moment, I can't really recommend them because they don't achieve more comfort or better sound than something in the same price range. Hello, welcome to a review of the SleepPhones. The thing that I have in my head. I received these from the company about 2 years ago, and I always intended to make a video, but I never did. It's worth noting that I was given them unconditionally, but still, for free. I have a lot of criticisms about this product, so don't think this is some sort of sponsored video, because it isn't. And even if it was, I'd still rip it apart. But I have worked with sound for many years and have used many different headphones, and I like to design things. I've also designed speakers, but I just design in general, how things go together is a thing that I'm into. And I'm going to be touching on all these areas for this product review. These are the SleepPhones, or as they're now known, the SleepPhones Classic. They cost $40 on their official website, and I don't personally think that they're worth it. And I'm going to say why. So, they are headphones, but with the purpose of helping you sleep, being comfortable in bed, not necessarily to sound good. And yeah, I mean, it's not going to fool anyone anyway, because they sound pretty bad. For $40, you can get a lot better sounding headphones or earphones. Pretty much anything will sound better than these. So you would hope that they would be comfortable to make up for it. Yeah? The problem is I find these less comfortable than both my headphones and my earphones. Now, granted, the headphones that I have are essentially two big pillows that make sound, and the earphones that I use are, small, so they don't really intrude much. But the point stands that you can get more comfortable headphones that sound much better, and sure, they're expensive, but I'm just saying, these kind of fail on both the comfort and the sound. So why buy them? Well, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. I think for most people you'd be better off getting just cheap headphones that are quite poofy. They don't have a lot of high-end or low-end. They're sort of just mid-range in terms of frequency. And, if you're listening to ASMR, that's perfectly fine. But it's annoying because these have very uneven sound. Inside, you have little patches that have sort of tiny speakers, tiny flat speakers inside. And these can move around. And they do move around. And the problem with that is, even if you get them lined up perfectly, when you're sleeping you move around a lot. And so not only does the headband move, but the patches inside move. And so you never get even sound for long. And that is the most annoying shit. I know a lot of people will have to know what that's like. I mean, you can just take one of your headphones or earphones and just move them slightly, and that's how it sounds most of the time. Beyond that, there's the inherent issue of sleeping on one side. If you're like me and you sleep on your side, well, you're going to be pushing one earphone into your ear more so than the other, and you get uneven sound from that as well. So there's a few things that I think they could do to help mitigate these issues. And it also ties into the shit sound. So these only sound okay. They sound passable when they are lined up perfectly. But for them to be lined up perfectly and tight onto your head, they have to be so tight that they're uncomfortable. This headband right now is not something that I can put on and forget about. I can constantly feel it. It's constantly pressing in on my forehead, but they're barely on tight enough for me to, hear the sound properly. Any looser and the sound would just be unbearably shit, which kind of defeats the whole purpose. So, I don't know for sure, but I think there's a design change that could help this issue. So, if they made these sleep phones with pads inside, or connected to the inside, but like pads, right? Imagine something like this, except nowhere near as big as this. It's just all I had. Imagine this was sort of on the inside. Now, first of all, when it's clamping onto you, you have some padding. Second, it needs to be over-ear pads so they kind of hook onto your ears. So when you're moving around, there's less chance of the headphones moving. Third, you keep the sound sort of directed at your ears, even if they're slightly off, because there's the pads and around the ears and around the speakers inside kind of keeps the sound directed. So you've helped a lot of the issues there, helped mitigate them with just a very simple design change. And they could easily do this as well. This isn't going to be an issue fitting a tiny over-ear pad inside just to kind of put over your ears so they kind of clamp on would not make them less comfortable. I think it would make them more comfortable because they could afford to make them less tight. Because right now, again, it's pushing onto my forehead. The other thing that they could do to mitigate the issue when you're sleeping in your side is add a left and right ear control on the cord itself. Right now, this one doesn't actually have anything. It's just a cord, which is shitty, to be honest. It ought to have volume control. But it doesn't. Nowhere along this line, you can't really see all of it. But it's non-existent. And if they had a left-right control, if you're pushing your ear into one side, you could control the volume of the other to kind of balance them out again. That would, again, help mitigate. It wouldn't solve, but it would help mitigate the issue. Now, you can argue that you can already do this on a lot of devices, so you could just fix it there. But you can't fix it on all devices, and it isn't always as convenient, especially if you're using, older MP3 players or whatever. They don't tend to have so many controls that are as versatile as newer devices. And since the issue is so integral and inherent to this situation, to the setting you're going to be using these in specifically, I felt like they should solve the issue natively, instead of relying on third-party software. So, at the moment, I can't really recommend them, because they don't achieve more comfort or better sound than something in the same price range. So they kind of seem pointless. The benefits of them, I suppose, is one, durability. So far, I have not had them break. I have not had them be inconsistent due to wire damage or electrical issues. It seems to be fairly well built for what it is. And, beyond that, they are relatively hygienic. You can take the headphones out, you can wash this headband in the wash and then put them back in. So it isn't like they're unclean. But those are secondary issues that come after. Well, the electrical thing isn't, but being able to wash it, that's a secondary issue. Primary issue should be, does it serve its purpose, which is sound okay and be comfortable, more comfortable than headphones are in bed. And currently I don't think they do. That's it. That's pretty much all there is to say. If the makers of these are watching, you can maybe prototype the idea that I pitched. It's up to you. But I think little pads could help solve the issue. It could also allow you to have more room, because they would have to be slightly bigger on the side. You could have bigger drivers inside to have better sound. You could also maybe afford to even give them a little bit of depth, because there's more padding. Who knows? You could improve the sound and the comfort at the same time. Maybe. I don't know. You'd have to test. But that is it for me in this video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, and if you didn't. And this video was long overdue, so I'm glad I finally got to it. I hope you guys enjoyed, as I said, and I'll see you in the next video.